And Radio 1017, The Team, presented by El Mesquite Market, bringing cultures together.
Welcome back, Mike Adams 2.0 on ESPN Radio 101.7, The Team. I'd like to thank Sergio Bermudez and El Mesquite Market for being the title sponsor of Mike Adams 2.0. Mika Frankl's with me, and of course, I'm happy to bring on our next guest. It's the Ultimate Fighter, Season 29. He's going to be a head coach. We all know him. Is the champion of the world. Ladies and gentlemen, none other than Alexander Volkanovski. Thanks for being with us today, champ.
No worries at all, mate. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Now, you were supposed to fight Brian Ortega, champ, not too long ago. You had a bout of the virus. Tell me what it's been like coming back, champ, just trying to get healthy.
Yeah, man, it was obviously unfortunate news to hear that you're being caught from the fight from COVID. Something that at the time I wasn't getting symptoms. I was like, what? I was absolutely blown away. Like, how is this even happening? But obviously, it is what it is, and had to go through it. And like you said, it was a battle going through the COVID. That definitely had some symptoms, but the recovery afterwards was sweet. We just were professional about it. We were lucky enough to have the UFC PI, or the doctors and all that, pointing me in the right direction. So I followed the strategy they wanted me to follow, and now I'm back in a pretty solid training, so I'm feeling good now. So that's all that matters. I'm all good now.
My guest, Alexander Volkanovski, the champion of the world, UFC. He's going to be coaching Ultimate Fighter Season 29 against Brian Ortega. Now, let me ask you this, champ. When you beat Max Holloway, what was that feeling like on that night, champ? What was the feeling like that night?
Man, it's obviously a great feeling. It's always a good feeling just to win, to win a belt and everything like that. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. But, you put so much pressure on yourself. It's something that I always talk about. Like, I'm always holding in. I'm trying to stay composed and control my emotions, and so there's this pressure in doing that. And once the bouts are finished, you can just let it go, let your emotions fly, let everything. You don't have to hold nothing in anymore. So there's a big relief is a good word, but obviously, man, just them emotions. Obviously, happy, mate. You won the world title. You're bringing this belt back home to your family, successful. You know what I mean? This is the career path I chose, and winning is being successful. Winning a belt is being successful. So, mate, it was an unreal feeling. You know what I mean? Again, just letting them emotions fly, mate. It's an unreal feeling. It really is, especially after holding it in all camp, and then fight week, and then obviously during the fight, and then as soon as that hand is raised, mate, you just let it fly. So it's an unreal feeling.
Mike Adams 2.0, ESPN Radio 101.7, The Team. Alexander Volkanovski, the champ, is with me right now. Ultimate Fighter, Season 29, ESPN Plus on June 1st. Now, champ, a lot of people don't know this about you. But what's tougher, champ, playing rugby or being in an MMA fight?
Mate, they both got their own challenges, but I think MMA, all the preparation and things like that, I just think it's a whole nother level. You get your weight cutting and all that type of stuff. So there's I'll be honest and say that there's a lot more adversities you're going to have to go through in MMA. So I think it's one of the toughest sports in the world, purely because of preparation, weight cutting. Obviously, you're in there fighting as well. You know what I mean? And it can be a very unforgiving sport as well. Losing in this sport is a big deal. You can get 4 steps back just from a loss. So I would have to say MMA is probably one of the toughest sports in the world.
Gotta ask, champ, going from expecting to defend your title at UFC 260 to getting offered the coaching position on TUF in this extended vacation here in America, how do you change your whole life on the fly like that?
Oh, man, it is crazy. Like, I've always said this sport, like as we just talked about, why it's so tough is because there's so many lows, but obviously so many highs in that as well. But Mate, it's like a roller coaster ride, mate. It really is. It's crazy. You're getting whiplash. You're getting everything from this bloody from this ride. I'm telling you, it's absolutely crazy. But yeah, to hear that news and you're like far out, you know, and then to be like, all right, let's get this negative test so I can go home, and then be like, hold up, you know what I mean? You're about to, you might be doing this show, and I'm like, what? You know, sort of taking it in, talking to the missus, and then before you know it, it's locked in, and I'm staying here for an extra 2 months. I'm staying in the US for an extra 2 months. So it's crazy. It really is. You just got to go with it. Luckily, I've got a supportive wife and family that yeah, man, he's so supportive. Because again, I've been away. I'm still not home. I'm in quarantine right now in Australia, so it's going to be almost 3 months, and it will be 3 months by the time I see my family. So you need to have a supportive wife to let that happen. So I'm lucky enough to have that, and you know, we just obviously go with the crazy process that an MMA career will take you.
It's incredible, some of those sacrifices that you have to make. I also got to ask about your coaching staff for this upcoming season. Who did you put in place, and how did it come together?
Yeah, so I obviously got some of my normal coaches that I always usually have in my corner, and that is Roger Lopez. He's my head coach, so he was always going to be there. I got Hickman, Frank Hickman, who's my wrestling coach from Tiger Muay Thai. Then I got Woody, so he's another friend of mine that I've known from Tiger Muay Thai for a very long time. And we had Craig Jones come as a BJJ coach, which was pretty cool. You know, one of the best no-gi grapplers in the world. So, you know, he's a fellow Australian as well, and a friend of mine back home. So, I thought, you know what? I think he'd fit well with the banter we have on our coaching team, because we've got some good banter. So, we decided to bring him. And we had Colby Fitness, so one of my training partners. So he was actually on the coaching staff as a training partner for the boys, which I thought was a crucial part in having an extra body for everyone.
Mike Adams 2.0, ESPN Radio 101.7, The Team. Our guest is none other than the champ, Alexander Volkanovski. Now, Coach, it's Brian Ortega on one side, you on the other. I know you guys are going to fight shortly. Is everything cordial during the episodes, Coach?
Man, look, it started friendly, but I mean, it did not end that way. I think when you're spending that much time with someone, you know what I mean, especially when you're competitive, you know, you're competing against each other and all that type of stuff, little things are going to annoy you. So maybe that's all it was, but I mean, yeah, I definitely didn't think too much of him towards the end. And, you know, obviously, I'm not the type to usually talk trash or say much if I don't need to, but when you're spending that much time with someone, it's pretty hard not to be vocal. So, yeah, things were definitely said. It wasn't as friendly as it first started. They're friendly now.
Now, champ, you've boxed before. You're 1-0 in boxing. And I see a lot of MMA fighters. Anderson Silva is going to go fight Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. Of course, Conor fought Floyd. Is there any boxing down the road for the champ?
Yeah, 100%. I think, well, yeah, man, I love boxing too. So I've always, I do a lot of boxing training while I'm training as well. So I love the sport, and it's something I definitely want to do. So I had that boxing fight because I couldn't find matches back when I was in MMA in Australia in the local scene. So it was hard to find fights. So I was like, I'll have a boxing fight just to stay active. So that was, you know, but I mean, I actually love the sport. I think definitely. There's even talks of bigger guys in Australia, like, you know, with Jeff Horns and things like that we're already having little conversations about. So this is definitely something that I want to do. And, mate, I'd love to, even, mate, you obviously everyone's calling out Jake Paul and whatnot, but you know what I mean? I think that'd be funny too, because he's twice the size of me, but I guarantee you I'd love to, you know, be in there with him as well, because I think I'm small, but trust me, I can tough it down. I can definitely handle my weight, so I'd love to do something like that as well. But again, trying to get that to happen with the weight difference would be pretty hard. But I love boxing, and yeah, man, I definitely want to do something like that later in my career.
Mike Adams 2.0, ESPN Radio 101.7, The Team, the champ, Alexander Volkanovski. I got to ask you this, champ. growing up, who are those UFC fighters that made an impression on you?
I was a massive Chuck Liddell fan. So he's one guy that, mate, when I say I'm a massive, like I remember watching his fights, and when he started getting on a bit of a losing streak, and I think he lost to Rashad Evans when this happened. So I thought before that, he was, he lost, but he was on his way back. I think he fought Vendelay after that, got a win, and then I'm like, yes, Chuck's back, he's back. And then he took on Rashad Evans and then got knocked out like he did, and I was absolutely devastated. My brother, there's a story, my brother remembers me like 2-3 days later, I'm on the shovel back when I was concreting. I'm on the shovel, I'd stop, and then I'd just like literally start shaking my head in disbelief that poor Chuck Liddell got knocked out again, you know what I mean? I was absolutely devastated. So that's how much I loved Chuck Liddell back in the day. That days after he lost, while I'm working, busting my ass concreting, I'm still emotional about Chuck Liddell losing. So, yeah, man, I was a big fan of Chuck Liddell.
Season 29, The Ultimate Fighter, ESPN Plus, all takes place June 1st. Brian Ortega's coaching one team. Of course, the champ, Alexander Volkanovski, coaching the other team. I just want to say, champ, thanks for spending some time with us on Mike Adams 2.0, ESPN Radio 101.7, The Team. We appreciate you. Best of luck to you, champ.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Hey,
thank you.
Champ, next time I'm in Australia, I'm stopping by to say hello.
Sounds like a plan, mate. Sounds like a plan. I'll cook you a barbecue, cook you some of my famous steak. How's that sound?
Sounds wonderful. Be safe, champ. Take care of yourself. That was Alexander Volkanovski on ESPN Radio 101.7, The Team. Mike Adams 2.0. Another special guest in studio with me is Mika Frankl. Incredible interview with Alexander Volkanovski.
Man, the coach of the upcoming season of The Ultimate Fighter. I heard him and his team, they're going to be the culprits of quite a few shenanigans. You know, The Ultimate Fighter, notorious for them pranks, and I heard it's Team Volkanovski bringing the hilarity.
You're listening to Mike Adams 2.0 on ESPN Radio 101.7, The Team.